A teenager was shot and killed steps from his home.
Star student athlete gunned down outside his home in front of his mother.
At least 20 shots fired in what they believe was a targeted attack. Law enforcement sources confirm there is a rap video uploaded to social media the day before 17-year-old Noah Scurry was shot to death behind his home.
Noah Scurry had it all. A standout high school basketball star and a top-tier student scoring the highest SAT score in his neighborhood. He was on track for college ball and a future filled with opportunities. But behind the scenes, Noah was living a double life. By day, he was a rising athlete, but by night, he was Joker OTV, a drill rapper tied deeply to street conflicts in Philadelphia. And just one day after releasing a diss track, he was gunned down in broad daylight. This is the story of Noah Scurry, the star student athlete who caught bodies. Before all the headlines, Noah was once seen as a generational talent. At just 17 years old, he was dominating the court, dropping buckets, and leading his team to victories. But what really set him apart from the others was his ability to learn. He had the highest SAT score in his entire school, setting him apart from most of the kids in the neighborhood. A lot of people in his community spoke very highly of him, thinking he'd be the one to make it out, and looked at him with a lot of admiration.
Whenever he entered a room, the room always lit. You know, it was always a smile on somebody's face when they were around them. He had a whole future ahead of him, too. It's scary to think about.
But despite all the promise, Noah was drawn to something much darker. Noah wasn't just a baller and a scholar. He was knee-deep in these streets, tied very closely to the drill rap culture going on in Philadelphia, while rapping under the name Joker OTV. And in case you didn't know how this scene works, it's more than just music. In places like Philly, Chicago, and New York, drill rap is tied directly to real-life violence. Diss the wrong person, smoke on the wrong pack, or even mention the wrong name, you might as well start the timer because the consequences are often deadly. And in his lyrics, Noah was allegedly bragging about real-life crimes, mocking his dead ops, and making himself a huge target within the city. And then he made one fatal mistake, dropping a diss track aimed directly at his rivals.
You gon' need another hand trying to count on my body. She fuck, I done finally got it. I do a bitch bad if the bitch trying to line me. Outside on the 4 or 5 deep in the Johnny. All these niggas keep telling when they ask about body.
And just one day after releasing the song, Noah was shot and killed in broad daylight, directly outside of his mother's home as he was getting ready for school. And the streets don't care if he was a straight-A student or basketball star. To them, he was Joker OTV, and that meant war. On the morning of his death, Noah was walking up to his mother's car accompanied by his mom as he was on his way to go to school, when a white Jeep Cherokee pulls up next to him. Within seconds, at least 20 shots rang out, hitting Noah multiple times. His mom, who was only just feet away, could only watch as her son collapsed to the ground. By the time paramedics arrived, it was too late. And this wasn't just a hit, this was a direct message. Noah's murder was not random. It was a direct result of the life he was living outside of his basketball and academics. And despite his immense potential to make it out, his choices caught him up in the worst way possible. And here's where the story gets even darker, because as people were mourning Noah's death, reports started surfacing about his alleged involvement in various different crimes around the city. Allegedly, bro was an immense crash out and was really in these streets. And one of the biggest rumors, he was allegedly involved of the killing of Philadelphia rap legend's son, YNG Cheese. Now, to be clear, this is all speculation, but in cities like Philly, the streets talk. Although one thing's for sure, Noah was no stranger to violence. Noah Scurry's story is one of the most tragic examples of wasted potential. He had everything: brains, talent, and opportunities that most kids could only dream of. But in the end, the streets had pulled him far too deep and led him to a path to his death. And this just really is another prime example of how harsh the street life can be. No matter how smart you are or how talented you are, if you get caught up in this life, there are only two outcomes: death or prison. And for Noah, the cost was everything. What do you think? Do you think Noah could have turned his life around, or was he far too involved with this street shit and had his fate sealed for him? So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out my previous one right over here. But without further ado, y'all, stay hydrated and stay out the fucking way. Peace.